And so getting back to Okoro, I took that class over at ETA August of 1998. And
You're good, man. You be remembering dates, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know that you was with them and you took the class the year before, right?
Right, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so I sat there in that first class with Okoro, and it was I caught the class just in time too. It was August, and they had one class already that I'd missed, and I went in to sit in on the next class to see if I liked it. And I sat there after that class was over, and I had the little $300 in my pocket to pay for the class.
No doubt.
Which ran for a school year from August to April, May. After that first class, I was like, I'm going to do this the rest of my life.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
That's how much Okoro affected me.
Yeah.
And so...
Rest in peace, Okoro.
Rest in peace. And so a couple weeks in, Okoro said to the class, he was looking at one guy. He wasn't looking at me. He looked at this guy and says, there are no men in the advanced class.
Right.
Our class beginning was on Tuesday nights. The advanced class was Wednesday night. And so the guy didn't say anything and we didn't either. So the following week, Okoro looked at the same guy again and says, there are no men in the advanced class and we need men in the advanced class. And the guy looked at him and raised his hand and said to Okoro, I don't have another $300. And Okoro said, don't worry about that. I was like, I'm there. I'm there. I got excited. I was like, I can take 2 classes.
Right.
And so I did. That's how I got started, taking those 2 classes. And I was in heaven, Tuesday and Wednesday nights, heaven. And then shortly after that, in January, myself and Kenny was in the basement talking about the acting, and I was telling him I want to do more, and he was telling me, yeah, we should do something. And he'll say that I said, and I'll say that he said, let's get some actors that we know from around town together and meet up and just hone our craft.
No doubt, right.
And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so at that point, he called you, Marissa and Sharon and whoever else, Tracy.
Yeah, Malik.
Malik came with me, though.
Okay, great.
Malik was in the acting class with me. So I went to ETA to my classes, and I invited Malik, Charles, Sharon.
Okay.
June.
Yeah.
Kim Barlow. Yep. And Lorraine.
Nice.
All of those people came from the class.
Right.
Because I had so much excitement that they just came. And so we, including Bradley here, Bradford, we met every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. starting February for a whole year.
Right.
And then after that, I left the troupe because it got into politics and blah, 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 blah. But we did some great things. We met in the basement. We did mirror exercises, and we had so much fun. We did a show over at the University of Chicago.
It was great, man, because
Blue Gargoyle.
Yeah, Blue Gargoyle. We wrote, directed our own material. So it was amazing, man. It was really, really great experience, man.
Yeah. You wrote some nice pieces that, and one of them we're gonna film, aren't we?
We're gonna shoot this summer, ideally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And then, like, to jump ahead a little bit, you started taking classes at Toronto Studios, right?
Oh yeah.
And then, and I love this story, man. You could tell it, but I love the story about how you did not have money for classes, and so you offered to clean up around the studio, and then eventually he said yes, and you've been there since taking classes, getting better, developing the craft. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. So June 2000, I left town. I was gone for 2 years, and I came back June of 2002, and I was living in Louisville, Atlanta, Mississippi. But anyway, to make a long story short, at one point when I was in Louisville in 2001, I did a Raisin in the Sun at Actors Theater in the Black Box up there. I played Joseph Assegai, and that was the first time I got to develop the language.
Right.
And it was so much fun. I think I did 8 performances and a couple other plays and a couple other things. But while I was down there, the internet was brand new, and I'm surfing the web looking for acting classes and lessons in Louisville. And I came across Ted Sarantos somehow, and he calls me up while I'm in Louisville, and he had this voice, "Hi, you're interested in acting classes?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." He says, "Well, when would you like to come in?" "Well, when are the classes?" Blah, 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 blah. I says, "Okay, I could try to come in." And then I discovered that he was in Chicago. I was like, well, I'm living in Louisville, and I had no intentions on coming back to Chicago at that point.
Right.
And he says, well, whenever you're in Chicago, look me up. And that was in 2001. So when I made my way back in June 2002, somehow later on that year, I found some information, and I was like, that's that guy I talked to almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I went and sat in on his class sometime in early 03. And I remember sitting there in that evening class, watching him work with the actor. So what he did was he videotaped the actors.
Yeah.
He'd put the camera on them, and then he'd tell them, okay, nose to the camera, smile in the eye, tilt your chin down, okay, and talk to the mic, deep breath, hold it, and when you're ready, action. And I was like, I need that.
No doubt. Yeah.
That's the thought that came to my mind. I need that. And so after that, he asked me and a couple other people that were sitting there, were you guys interested in taking classes? And one thing I did learn from Okoro is he says, okay, don't worry about that for the second class. And I was like, you can take classes for free sometimes.
Right.
And so when Ted says, are you guys interested in the classes? This was early 03. I don't think it was spring yet. And I says, yeah, I want to take classes with you. But unfortunately, I just got back to town and don't have a job, can't afford you right now. But I can help you clean up around here.
No doubt.
No doubt. It was an old building,
right.
And I could see where he could use help. And he says, well, I don't need that. 10 months later, Ted Sarantos calls me over to this other guy's house. And the first thing I got on the phone says, hey, how did you get this number?
Right.
You're finding me? I started the class January, the first Wednesday in January 2004, and this is 2016, March, and I'm still with him.